The intelligence reports reaching the bunker in Berlin during the final weeks of March 1945 documented the reality that Adolf Hitler had refused to acknowledge throughout the war's final years. The Soviet Union had occupied Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, and was advancing into Czechoslovakia and Austria with forces that would establish communist governments in territories that Germany had invaded, occupied, or allied with during the war. The reports detailed Soviet political officers organizing administrative structures in liberated territories, local communist parties being positioned for power, and Soviet military forces remaining in occupation even as fighting continued elsewhere. Hitler reviewed the assessments with recognition that the strategic objective he had pursued since the 1930s, preventing Soviet dominance of Eastern Europe, had not only failed, but had produced exactly the outcome he had claimed to be preventing. The ideological foundation of Hitler's foreign policy had been based on opposition to Bolshevism and on the conviction that Germany needed to expand eastward to secure living space and resources. The anti-communist rhetoric had shaped German policy toward the Soviet Union, had justified the invasion of Poland as necessary to create buffer against Soviet expansion, and had rationalized Operation Barbarossa as preventive war to destroy Soviet power before it could threaten Germany. The propaganda had portrayed Germany as defender of European civilization against Bolshevik barbarism. The reality in March 1945 was that Germany's defeat was enabling exactly the Soviet expansion that Hitler had claimed his policies would prevent. The division of Europe that was emerging through 1944 and early 1945 reflected military realities rather than the political agreements that had been discussed at Allied conferences. The Soviet forces advancing from the east were occupying territories and were establishing control through military presence and through political organizations that answered to Moscow. The Western Allied forces advancing from the west were occupying territories where different political arrangements would develop. The line where Soviet and Western forces met would become the division between Soviet-controlled Eastern Europe and Western-influenced Western Europe. The Yalta Conference in February 1945 had produced agreements about post-war Europe that included provisions for free elections in Poland and other Eastern European countries, but the agreements were being implemented in ways that ensured Soviet control. The intelligence reaching Berlin documented how Soviet forces were suppressing non-communist political organizations, how elections were being organized to ensure communist victories, and how Soviet military presence was being used to intimidate populations and to eliminate opposition. The pattern was consistent across territories that Soviet forces occupied. Hitler's reaction to the intelligence about Soviet control of Eastern Europe combined rage at the military situation that had produced the outcome with refusal to acknowledge that German policies had created the conditions that enabled Soviet expansion. The invasion of the Soviet Union that had been justified as preventing Soviet domination of Europe had instead weakened Germany to the point where Soviet forces could advance westward without effective opposition. The alliances that Germany had formed with Eastern European countries had collapsed as those countries recognized that Germany was losing the war and that accommodation with the Soviet Union was necessary for survival. The fate of Poland illustrated the irony of how Hitler's policies had produced outcomes opposite to their stated objectives. Germany had invaded Poland in September 1939, claiming that Polish corridor separated East Prussia from Germany and that Polish treatment of German minorities required intervention. The invasion had been justified partly as necessary to prevent Soviet expansion into Central Europe. The reality in 1945 was that Poland was being occupied by Soviet forces, that a communist government answerable to Moscow was being installed, and that Polish territory was being reorganized with borders shifted westward at German expense. The policy that had been implemented to prevent Soviet control of Poland had resulted in exactly that control. The intelligence about Soviet political organization in occupied territories documented systematic approach to establishing communist control. The reports described how Soviet NKVD units accompanied military forces and how they arrested or eliminated potential opposition. The local communist parties that had been suppressed or marginalized before the war were being positioned as governing authorities with Soviet backing. The administrative structures being created ensured that Moscow would control Eastern European governments regardless of what formal political arrangements were established. The pattern was consistent with Soviet political methods that Hitler had denounced throughout his political career but had failed to prevent through military action. Martin Bormann, serving as Hitler's secretary and managing communications in the bunker, received the intelligence reports and presented summaries that emphasized the military situation's hopelessness, but that also documented the political reality that Soviet control of Eastern Europe was being consolidated. Bormann's assessments reflected recognition that Germany had lost not just militarily, but had lost the struggle to prevent Soviet dominance that Hitler had claimed was the fundamental purpose of German policy. The strategic miscalculation that had shaped German policy toward the Soviet Union became apparent through the intelligence about Eastern Europe. The assumption had been that Soviet Union was weak, that rapid military victory would destroy Soviet power, and that German control of Eastern European territories would prevent Soviet expansion. Each assumption had proven wrong. The Soviet Union had demonstrated resilience and military capability that German planning had not anticipated. The rapid military victory had not occurred. The German occupation of Eastern European territories had created resentment and resistance that weakened German control and that created populations willing to accept Soviet liberation, despite knowing that Soviet occupation would bring communist political systems. The alliances that Germany had maintained with Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, and other Eastern European countries had been based partly on those countries' fear of Soviet expansion and partly on German military power that seemed capable of protecting them. The collapse of those alliances as German military situation deteriorated illustrated that the alliances had been based on calculation rather than ideology. The Eastern European governments that had allied with Germany against the Soviet Union were making accommodation with Soviet forces as Soviet victory became apparent. The policies that Hitler had pursued to create German-dominated Eastern Europe were producing Soviet-dominated Eastern Europe. General Alfred Jodl, Chief of Operations at OKW, presented assessments about Soviet occupation of Eastern Europe that focused on military implications, that Soviet forces in Eastern Europe threatened Germany directly, that the territories provided Soviet Union with strategic depth and resources, and that the political control being established would persist after the war ended. The assessments acknowledged that German defeat would produce Soviet-dominated Eastern Europe for indefinite future. The strategic situation that German policy had been designed to prevent was being created through German defeat. The propaganda that Hitler had used throughout his political career had portrayed Soviet Union as existential threat to European civilization, and had claimed that German expansion eastward was necessary to prevent Soviet domination. The propaganda had been effective in mobilizing German support for aggressive policies and for the war against the Soviet Union. The reality that the propaganda had not acknowledged was that German policies were creating the conditions that would enable exactly the Soviet expansion that the propaganda warned against. The defeat that German policies produced would give Soviet Union control over Eastern European territories that Soviet Union might not have been able to occupy if Germany had not invaded and weakened both itself and the countries between Germany and the Soviet Union. Albert Speer, serving as armaments minister, had conversations with Hitler during March 1945 that touched on the post-war situation and on what would remain after Germany's defeat. Speer's recollections suggested that Hitler understood that Soviet Union would dominate Eastern Europe after the war, but refused to acknowledge that German policies had produced that outcome. The conversations reflected Hitler's tendency to blame circumstances and betrayal, rather than to acknowledge that strategic conception had been flawed. The reality of Soviet control was attributed to Western Allied decisions to cooperate with Stalin rather than to German policies that had created the military situation that enabled Soviet expansion. The intelligence about specific countries illustrated how Soviet control was being established. In Poland, the Lublin government that Soviet forces supported was being positioned to replace the London-based government that Western allies recognized. The elections that were being promised would be conducted under Soviet military occupation. In Romania, the government was being reorganized to give communists dominant role, despite communists representing small fraction of population. In Hungary, Soviet occupation forces were ensuring that political reconstruction occurred in ways that served Soviet interests. The pattern across Eastern Europe was consistent. Soviet military presence plus local communist organizations plus suppression of opposition equals Soviet control. The strategic failure that the intelligence documented was that Hitler's policies had not only failed to prevent Soviet expansion, but had accelerated it. The invasion of Poland had started the war that weakened Germany. The invasion of the Soviet Union had created the military conflict that Germany could not win. The occupation policies in Eastern Europe had created resentment that made populations willing to accept Soviet forces as liberators. The alliances with Eastern European governments had collapsed when those governments recognized that Germany was losing. Each element of Hitler's Eastern European policy had contributed to creating the outcome that the policy was supposedly designed to prevent. The bunker discussions during late March and early April 1945 included assessments of post-war Europe that acknowledged Soviet Union would control the East while Western allies controlled the West. The division that was emerging was being determined by military positions when the war ended, rather than by political agreements. The territories that Soviet forces occupied would remain under Soviet control, regardless of what diplomatic arrangements were made. The Western Allies' willingness to cooperate with Soviet Union during the war had created a situation where challenging Soviet control of Eastern Europe after the war would be difficult. Hitler's assessment of why the policy had failed focused on betrayal and weakness rather than on strategic miscalculation. The analysis blamed German generals for not executing operations properly, blamed Western allies for not recognizing the Soviet threat and for not making common cause with Germany against Bolshevism, and blamed circumstances and fortune rather than acknowledging that the fundamental strategic conception had been wrong. The inability to acknowledge error was consistent with Hitler's political methods throughout his career, but prevented learning that might have led to different policies. The reality that Hitler confronted in the bunker during the war's final weeks was that every strategic objective he had pursued had failed. Germany had not expanded eastward to create living space, but had been invaded and was being occupied. The Soviet Union had not been destroyed, but had become dominant power in Eastern Europe. The German people had not been secured, but were facing occupation and partition. The European civilization that Hitler claimed to be defending against Bolshevism was being divided between Soviet and Western zones of control. The policies that had been implemented for a quarter century had produced disaster. When Hitler learned the Soviet Union controlled the East, the knowledge came through intelligence reports documenting Soviet occupation and political organization of Eastern European territories. Through recognition that military defeat would leave Soviet forces in control of territories Germany had invaded or allied with. And through understanding that the strategic objective of preventing Soviet expansion had not only failed, but had produced the opposite of intended result. The learning occurred too late to affect policy because Germany was being defeated and because Hitler's political position in the bunker prevented implementation of any strategy that might have limited Soviet control. The historical irony was that Hitler's anti-Bolshevik policies had created the conditions that enabled Soviet expansion into Central Europe. The invasion of Poland had started the war. The invasion of the Soviet Union had created the conflict that Germany could not win. The occupation policies had created the resentment that made Soviet liberation welcome. The alliances had collapsed when German defeat became apparent. The propaganda about Soviet threat had been based on real concerns about Soviet expansionism, but the policies implemented to counter that threat had instead enabled it. The division of Europe that emerged from World War II, with Soviet control of the East and Western influence in the West, would persist for over 4 decades. The Cold War that developed reflected the reality that Soviet Union had established control over Eastern European territories through military occupation and political organization that occurred as Germany was being defeated. The outcome that Hitler had claimed his policies would prevent, Soviet domination of Eastern Europe, had been produced partly by the German policies that weakened both Germany and Eastern European countries, and that created military situation where Soviet forces could advance westward without effective opposition. When Hitler learned the Soviet Union controlled the East, he confronted the failure of the strategic vision that had shaped German foreign policy since the 1930s. The policies designed to prevent Soviet expansion had instead enabled it. The war started to secure German dominance, had produced German defeat and partition. The ideological struggle against Bolshevism had resulted in Soviet forces occupying Berlin. The strategic miscalculation was complete, and the recognition came in bunker as Soviet forces were surrounding the capital of the Reich that was being destroyed by the policies that Hitler had implemented, claiming they were necessary for German security and European civilization.